All right, Brandin Cooks going to the Dallas Cowboys. Better late than never, or nah? Is this Nick Caserio's biggest mistake? That might be to be determined. It is the Locker Room, number one source for Texans daily digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central on Sports Radio 610 and the Odyssey app. So Brandin Cooks is gone. A lot of people seem pleased by this news that Brandin Cooks is gone. My thing is, should it have happened earlier? I was told that the second round pick was the holdup when Brandin Cooks was originally going to be traded to the Cowboys. I was told that there was going to be. I was told this as recent as today. Pretty reliable person. I'm not a newsbreaker. I don't pretend to be, but that you could have gotten a third round pick for Brandin Cooks last year instead of what you ended up getting today, and you're also going to have to eat $6 million of the salary. You get basically a 5th and 6th round pick for Brandin Cooks, and you're eating $6 million of the salary. Last year, you could have gotten a third. There's talk about the compensation. My question is this, though. Let's pretend that the quarterback that the Texans want, regardless of who it is, let's pretend he goes number 1 overall and you're stuck with your second choice. And let's pretend that first choice ends up being fantastic, great, awesome, all those types of things. Just pretend with me. What is the cost of that decision? Because keeping Brandin Cooks cost you the number 1 overall pick. He should have never been active. If you watch this show, I said it the second that they didn't trade him, don't make this guy active. You gain nothing by putting Brandin Cooks on the field last year. It's not like his trade value shot up to a 5th and 6th round pick. But you beat Indianapolis when he was the best player on the field. You beat Tennessee when he scored the go-ahead touchdown. So just the cost/risk, even if you weren't going to trade him last year. Let's give Nick Caserio the benefit of the doubt. Let's do 2 parts of this. Let's give Nick Caserio the benefit of the doubt and say it didn't make sense for the Texans to trade Brandin Cooks last year to the Cowboys. Okay, then you shouldn't have put him on the field. And again, this is not hindsight. This is what I said. First of all, he could have gotten hurt, so the trade value could have gone down. Second of all, he played pretty well, especially in the Indianapolis game. And I doubt that you were going to get less than a 5th or 6th round pick and have to eat $6 million in salary. So it was a stupid decision to begin with. You don't go tell Lovie Smith we're going to lose to the Colts, but you make Brandin Cooks inactive because you're trying to trade him and he's openly wanting to be traded. So even if we're going to give Nick Caserio the benefit of the doubt, which I'm not sure that he deserves the benefit of the doubt, given the fact that the compensation could have been better, maybe there's some sort of value to it. But is that value enough to where, assuming that you lose the number 1 pick, that it was worth it? I think the answer would be no. Like if the Jets, how much do you think the value was for the Jets to have the number 2 pick instead of the number 1 pick when Trevor Lawrence was there? So from a value assessment, it makes no sense if you give Caserio the benefit of the doubt. It doesn't make sense if you don't give Caserio the benefit of the doubt because you thought the trade should have happened and you still would have gotten the number 1 pick. So this could be one of Caserio's mistakes. And we can talk about the contract and we can say, well, you couldn't trade that contract. This wasn't a contract that Caserio inherited. He was here when Brandin Cooks got this contract extension, him and the POS. Person of service, Jack Easterby, which is another story on itself. Let's just be honest. Brandin Cooks is weird. God bless him. Dallas is getting a receiver. They've needed a number 2 receiver since they let Amari Cooper go. But Brandin Cooks told me about right here that he was down with the rebuild. And he really was down with the rebuild. He wasn't just saying it. It wasn't a lie. He was in. He was 100% in. And as soon as Jack Easterby, the POS person of service, left, Brandin Cooks decided that he did not want to be part of a rebuild. That's weird. The fact that your happiness was tied to a guy who I've witnessed lie multiple times. Nobody in that building in any layer will say anything good about him. They're not going to say anything bad about him publicly, but they all know what a POS he is, whether it's players, whether it's people in the business office, et cetera. They all know that. They know how conniving and stuff Jack Easterby is, and Brandin Cooks' happiness was tied to that. That's freaking weird. That's really freaking weird, but that's what it is. He's gone. People seem to be happy. Texans got some late round picks, and we'll see what happens. And it could possibly be potentially, no matter how you slice it, it could be one of Nick Caserio's biggest mistakes. Could end up not mattering if they get the quarterback they want at number 2. But Brandin Cooks is gone. I don't think too many people are disappointed. Laramie Tunsil gets extended. It's a hell of a Sunday, hell of an active Sunday for the Texans. We'll do a live stream. Come through with your questions. Come through ready to cuss and discuss. But Brandin Cooks is gone. Hell, maybe Jack Easterby can go to Dallas with Brandin Cooks. Bet he wouldn't mind it. No matter what happens, though, just remember when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in this